So in the last game, I did end up losing. It's not showing up right now. Probably need to click on something for it to update. But it did end up losing a game. I decided to play a slightly aggressive variation that was actually pretty good for me. We looked at it with AI, but it ended up me making a mistake later. So something I really need to add maybe is the idea of staying a little bit more consistent with what I'm doing. And my opponent was definitely a little bit stronger than 3 dots. So they were able to punish me a little bit. But I don't necessarily think they were like significantly stronger because I think it was also kind of obvious the more I looked at it. Let's get into another game. Try to keep in mind the idea of taking my time, considering my options, reading, and in this case, being consistent. If I start an aggressive variation, I can't back off at some point unless it's like a good timing to do so. Like they made a mistake, so I can back off. I don't have to continue pressing. Let's try again.
Start to play.
All right, I am white here. We'll see how this goes. All right. I'm still going to do the same thing. This opposing 3-4 opening. See what my opponent does. Oh, playing very far away. I think I'm okay with answering. Sort of an old answer here. I don't know if there's anything new with this, but I'm okay with just taking territory. That's sort of the point of this opening. I'm just trying to take a lot of territory quickly. And, they did not block. So if they block here, that is a really, really big move. Do I need to play it? Anyway, I'm trying to take a lot of territory with this opening, right? So just having two really nice corners here feels good. So if I push, it's almost like they attached to me and I pulled back, which wouldn't be that bad of a move. And then if they Tanuki, that's not necessarily a bad exchange. So yeah, I don't want them to push down, so I will extend here one time. I'm not going to Hane, but I will definitely do this extension. This one here, I think I'm okay with doing something like a split on the left side. Sort of control the outside to some extent here. And we can go all the way to the corner here because we're threatening to go inside the corner. Oh, the kick really fixes my shape, so I'm very happy with that. Here we can Hane. This is the standard shape. If they attach here, you Hane and connect. This is the most standard shape here. So they do get something on this side, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. And how do I want to deal with the upper left? Because we do have, as I said, a lot of territory. The corner is still very, very much open over here. So they need another move over here. They need another move on this side because it's not a good extension. And the corner's open. So there's a lot of good options here. If I do pincer, I'm not sure where I'm getting my profit. So I do think I like the idea of coming over to the top side in some way. So let's just approach like a normal move here. Yep, just extend up. Now they're jumping to try to build this area in a large way. I guess that's fine. We can just take the top side. All right, they still want to just jump and keep building, build, build, build. I'm not sure how much they're actually building though, which is one of the problems. So I'm tempted to do something in the corner right now to see what they do. If they back off, I'm very, very happy with taking more territory. And if they don't back off, so like if they back off, I'm extremely happy with this. This is a very, very happy variation for me. They're going after more center. Do I care that they're doing that? No, I think I'm happy that they're doing that. So I will connect my groups. I will continue to connect my groups. Okay, seems nice. So we're all connected. And they now have this weak group in the center. Yeah, this is much, much different from the last person I played. Yeah. So here we just want to separate. The separation is really important here. And we probably want to keep separating, honestly, though we could come in over to the side here, though we have a hard time connecting. So I think just jumping is probably fine here. Yep, we just push through here. The push through here doesn't matter because this cut doesn't accomplish anything. That's why I was happy to do this knight's move. Yep, I will just connect. I think there's a reason to be fancy here. So now they have a group that needs to be alive and a Moyo potential at the bottom. And because we're so strong here, we can also take this corner, which feels really good. I think I'm going to start with the bottom left because just taking that corner is already like extremely happy for me. Because before they could salvage some of it, but now I have the entire corner. Okay. So they did decide to just fix their weak group, which was a good idea. The purpose of my stones was to just cut them through the middle here. So I'm okay with that. And they do have a possibility of making points in the center here. So I do kind of want to start reducing. But they don't really have that much. They only really have this area. So I kind of do want to practice my reduction a little bit. So I'm going to actually give them another chance to take the side here. So if I block here and they block, I can push and potentially capture this stone. So we can block here. And then we're able to slide and make this group alive. Okay. They are capturing some more here if I let them do it. But I think this is fine because we can push and cut over here. Okay, as I said, you can do that. I don't really mind. I'm very happy to capture this. The center is the more important part to really look at here. So even if they do rescue some of this, I think the center is still more valuable. So I'm going to Hane here. And we'll definitely be fighting here in the center. I'm going to push. Yep, go down. Interesting variation. I think this does just work for me to kill the stone. So if I push here, they block Atari and connect, and they only have 2 liberties. So we can push again. He already had that as a possibility. So we may as well just capture. Get rid of the Aji here. And these 2 stones aren't really that important. That's why I wanted to get rid of the Aji. Because now we could just back off here to get these other stones. And you can capture those too, but then we jump in, and I really don't mind that. Matter of fact, we may even want to do this Atari here, so that there's no Aji this direction. A very weird game again, but seems okay overall.
9.
They did get a lot back.
7,
They did get a lot back.
6, 5, 4, 3.
So now I want to sort of make trouble in the center. So I think this Hane could be a great way to do it. Can we do the double Hane? Double Hane looks like it could work, but we're not protected enough on the other side. So about this direction. Ends up being
9,
basically the same
8,
thing.
7, 6, 5.
I guess I don't mind
4.
just pulling back here. Interesting. I do actually want to Hane, because this adds some cutting points to these stones. All right. So they lose some territory. I also lose some territory with this Hane. They're actually playing, again, another 3 down that's playing like significantly better than that first game I played, at least. But now we should have enough strength towards this side that we can probably come in over here
9,
if we wanted to.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
So let's see if we
3.
can play something that's a little bit deep like this. Oh, they are just going up. I'm going to go down to threaten to make eye shape here. Ah, so we can attach here. This is something I wanted to practice. I wanted to see if I could practice this sort of living idea. Like this, for example, I can Hane over the top. And they do have a lot of Aji here. It's kind of interesting. Like I can capture this stone, which is letting me capture these stones. And that actually seems like really, really great for me. I could extend. Do I need to? If they don't answer, they go back over here. I cut.
9, 8.
I think it doesn't
7,
necessarily work. So I will
6.
just play here to make sure that I do get to capture these stones. This feels more than good enough. Yep. We just Atari here. And capture. And that's not Sente. If he captures, we just extend back. So it looks like we can just jump towards the center. Yep, we just extend back here. This part doesn't really make too much sense. There's nothing they can do here. So if they Atari and then Atari, right? So we just have to defend this. They don't have that many liberties. This is fine. We just connect. And then we capture. Like, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Looks like we can capture again. And now they're playing a co threat. Okay, so I guess we're playing a co. And I just connect. I don't know what it actually does. And we can push through a little bit here. So I may as well. Because this capture just feels pretty nice to do overall. And then we can just go back to like sort of normal end game type moves. Probably fine at this point. So something that looks kind of big actually is this idea of capturing these stones.
9, 8, 7, 6,
I think we can
5.
block here. Force them to capture. I mean, you can do that. I just connect solidly, and there's no real issue there. That's not even a point move, so I'm not sure what that was for. And so now we don't worry about the corner, but we Atari over here to cut off the top side. and force them to try to survive here? I think they can, but huh. It's at least a good exchange for me if I can capture these 2 stones. So I'll be very happy to do that. Okay, then we can just Atari over here. Atari this way is probably better. Yeah, Atari on the outside doesn't work because they can cut through us, so we just Atari this way, and now we've captured more stones. Yep, just connect here. Feel really good about that. That's Sente. That is Sente. So we can just throw in here to make sure it's dead. Because if they play there first, they do have an Atari on our stones. That move doesn't do anything at all. If they Hane, we block, and they don't have an eye there, so we can just move on. I think we can probably go back and... Okay, there we go. We can probably go back and just block here at this point, but they decide to resign instead. So again, I did play maybe a little bit aggressive, but let's look over this game really quick. Because I feel like I made some mistakes, but I don't know if we want to look at Cochrane yet. Let me look at what the graph looks like first and see. It looks like we probably don't need to look at Cochrane. So yeah, let's just look at the game review then. Because the other one, I just wanted to see if things actually did work. So let's just look at the game analysis here. It looked like I was kind of far ahead in this game. So my opponent played a little bit strange. Do I feel like I did anything that was too aggressive, though? I do want to check that. I feel like I did anything that was too much. I feel like I'm playing like fairly reasonable moves instead of being too aggressive. 3-3 was fine. This is all fine. We just give them the outside, and we're able to jump in here. And the only thing that I'm unsure of here is, yeah, like this corner move. I think this is where I could have potentially played a little bit differently. So what I was looking for when I said too aggressive, what I really mean is, like, did I lose some of the consistency from like I did in that second game? Like, the reason I lost the second game was because I was inconsistent. I played something that was a bit, I'm going to just call it stupid. We'll go with that. So what was sort of wrong with that? I think it was mostly just that I tried to be aggressive and then I wasn't aggressive. And so in this game, it looks like to match what I was doing, I should probably play one more move in the center to sort of match what I'm doing here. And my instinct was to play over here. And then even if they go back over to this side like they did in the game, I think they did something along these lines. Just having these moves in the center is probably already kind of useful. And then I could go back. And so what would happen if they decide to go back to the corner? All right, let's just do this one. They do get a lot of points. But I think now I'm able to come down to this area. And as I'm running away with these stones, I'm actually applying a little bit of pressure to the top side. So just having this one stone here is giving me a lot of pressure towards this top group if I do decide to reduce. So that does seem very, very useful. So yeah, I think this was probably a slightly better idea. It goes along with what I played earlier, just jumping out over here or trying to force them to connect in the corner, like I go over here or something. If they do this one, I can jump again, and if they just fix this one, I'm not sure I can kill this. This is probably actually fine. So that's why I don't really want to come from the center. So I do think the side here is probably the right answer. And here I think this was just a good trade for me overall. This I think was too aggressive. I think this one was too aggressive. Like my corner's alive, and that corner's alive as well. Oh, but I guess if everything's alive separately, I probably should be more aggressive. I think I did it in the wrong way. So let's look at the variation a little bit more. So like something like this, and then Hane is kind of like a normal variation. Or then if we capture the stone this way, they could block and potentially capture my stone if I don't do something, right? So they would connect, then I have to go back and fix this one. And they have a really nice shape towards the center here. So I think even now, like they could just build this very large center. It's probably a good idea. I'm going to be able to break into some of it. I'm going to do the same thing that was in the game. But it is kind of difficult to break into all of it. And at this point, I do think I'm winning, it looks like. But this is probably like the more correct way for them to play. So I feel like what I really want to do here, this is what I want to figure out for right now. So what I really want to do here is I probably want to... Oh, okay. I probably want to Atari this way and connect here because they shouldn't be able to cut me right now. This extension is threatening the net. So if they fix that, I can still threaten. And then I'm basically capturing the left side if the more they run this out, right? And I can even potentially do this right now. Just sort of capturing this. So that's what I want. I want at least one more move here, though. And then if they fix this side in whatever way they want, we'll just add a random move. Then this is likely going to just kill the left side. So I think that's the better idea. I was definitely being too much here and trying to be like extra aggressive. So like, yeah, pulling out too much. In this case, I don't need to actually be aggressive. I just need to be firm more so. I can even potentially go over the top. But yeah, just connecting on the inside here because the cut doesn't really work. Means that if they have to push this way, we're very, very happy. They are out of some of our territory. Yes, we did break through their shape and grab some of this for ourselves. But we have now completely destroyed the center. And that is probably a better thing overall compared to the amount that they got rid of. So this was still a useful variation and a useful exchange for me. Okay. All right, cool. That's all I really wanted to double check in this game. I'm fairly happy with how most of the game went. I still feel like the other game was affecting me a little bit in how I was thinking in this game. But overall, I think this was a good game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And maybe I'll end up playing another one.